If you are in disbelief right now, you don't believe that Bitcoin's price can hold, you don't believe that institutions are actually FOMOing into Bitcoin, and you don't believe that retail investors will ever come back again, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to talk about Fidelity Investments, one of the biggest companies of Wall Street. I'm talking about a company with over 50,000 employees, with over $3.3 trillion worth of assets under management. And this company pretty much does everything. They are a brokerage, they're also a custody service, they also advise, they also invest. There's literally nothing that Fidelity Investments isn't involved with. And guess what? Fidelity Investments also in Bitcoin and crypto. But they didn't just FOMO in recently with all these other institutions we're hearing about. No, they've been in it for years upon years upon years, and they've been staying low key. But now they are a lot more bullish, a lot more excited to talk about their offerings. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few tidbits, a few interesting facts about Fidelity Investments and how vested they are, how involved they are with Bitcoin and crypto. So first, let's look at an interview conducted by Barron's with Abigail Johnson, CEO of Fidelity Investments. Now, this full interview is very long, so I cut it to the last 2 minutes when Abigail was asked about Bitcoin and crypto and Fidelity's overall involvement. It's a pretty good interview, so let's look at it together and let me give you some thoughts while we watch this through.
Right now, some of these distributed finance capabilities are really, this is an area that has been talked about from early on, but it's really starting to pick up. And
let's start with that. She talks about distributed finance, but what she's referring to is DeFi, decentralized finance, right? And this is something that was really, it was very early in 2017. Right? We've heard of companies like Ethland back in the day, and they were talking about, doing personal to personal loans, but then it evolved from there, right? Obviously, Ethland now became a juggernaut, Aave, and there's other in the space. And yeah, DeFi has really evolved, right? To a point where, just a few years ago, it just seemed like it's impossible. But now you have billions upon billions upon billions of dollars locked into DeFi, and people are actually using it, right? So first, she's talking about distributed finance, which is DeFi, and how amazed she is by it.
And, things like the Lightning Network that we're going to help facilitate that are actually starting to become reality.
Let's pause right there. So that, I'm trying to get clarification because I don't know what she's actually talking about. So when I'm searching Lightning Network Fidelity, I know previously the Lightning Torch was given to Fidelity. They accepted it, they passed it on, right? But that's the only thing I could find. I haven't found anything else about them facilitating the Lightning Network now. So that's very, very interesting. I'm trying to get more clarification, but obviously they are involved in some way. And when Fidelity Investments is involved with Bitcoin Lightning Network, that's pretty big, right?
But at the same time, I think in terms of bringing the world along on digital currencies in general, what we're really, from a commercial perspective, putting our efforts around is trying to connect the legacy world with the future of digital currency. And so,
Okay, let's pause right there too. That's also very important, right? It's kind of vague, but you can see that one of their goals right now is to convert legacy companies, which is basically everyone, right? And converting them to digital world. What she means by that is to convert them to digital currency and digital technology, right? Blockchain, dApps, and all that stuff. And that's pretty powerful, right? Because at the beginning of the video, I told you guys how large Fidelity is, and you could only imagine some of the companies they deal with, right? They deal with the largest hedge fund companies out there, the largest family offices, the richest people and companies that are in Wall Street. They're talking to them on a daily basis, right? And now Fidelity is trying to convert them over to the digital world, to the blockchain, to the Bitcoin, to the crypto, the DeFi world, right? That is pretty exciting and pretty amazing.
Now, our custody business around Bitcoin has been incredibly successful. We've got a tremendous pipeline, and it's been really exciting to watch. And if you had asked me in the beginning if we or anybody was going to be prioritizing custody of Bitcoin, I would have said, no way. I mean, that's kind of the opposite of what it's all about. But
That's interesting too, right? So Fidelity did years ago get into the custody service. And you heard it from her, it's exploding. There's a lot of things in a pipeline, right? And that is very, very positive as well. Obviously, custody service is a big deal. When institutions want to get involved with Bitcoin and crypto, they don't want to hold it themselves. They don't want to have that responsibility, right? So they go to a company they trust to hold their assets, right? Who better than Fidelity, which holds over 3.3 trillion assets themselves. And I heard all their customer assets together is over $8 trillion, right? So when it comes to someone holding your assets, really there's no one better than Fidelity Investments. And that is pretty positive.
But the reality is that you do need it, because if you're an individual who engages an advisor and you want to make an estate plan, you actually need somebody to custody your Bitcoin, just as a simple example.
Yeah, that is a good example. I didn't actually know what she was talking about, so silly me, but estate plan is basically when you're planning for your death and you need to pass on your assets to someone else. Yeah, you need a custody service to help you do that, right? So that is something that some people have asked me about, like, hey, what if I pass away? How do I give my, my spouse or my kids my crypto, right? Well, one way to do it is through a custody service, and Fidelity offers it.
So building those on and off ramps around facilitating trading between fiat currency and cryptocurrency is something that's happening now, and I'm glad it's moving along. And so you kind of have those two ends of the spectrum, the connecting to the legacy world and the really new advanced.
So that's kind of interesting too. She's talking about on-ramping and off-ramping, right? Fiat into digital currencies. I believe she's referring to helping legacy clients, right, get involved with dApps and also getting involved with crypto, right? Now, I know Fidelity does offer a trading desk too, right? They do help some of these institutions and institutional investors and help them get into Bitcoin. They don't really advertise it much, but I have heard that they do have a trading desk as well. So she may be referring to that, or just the simple fact that they're helping their clients just get more awareness of what's happening within the digital world.
Thinking that's going on. So it's pretty exciting. It's just become more than I can really feel like I can be an expert on anymore, but I'm really happy that I have a really vibrant community at Fidelity of people who are living and breathing and working on this full time. And we've got a lot of good momentum as a business, which is really exciting. And that's really what I sought to achieve when we moved into this. So I'm really happy about that.
So lastly, I just want to talk about, Abigail seems like she's a really nice lady, really someone that's really humble, right? She doesn't try to pretend like she knows everything. However, I gotta say, I believe she's like a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? She's kind of playing off like, yeah, you know what? We're happy to be in it, and there's so much going on, and I'm not sure, of everything, right? But don't let that smile fool you, because Fidelity Investments is totally in, and they have been in for a long time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with mining. And it's kind of mind-boggling to think about such a large company getting involved with mining so early, right? So I found this article. This is back in 2017 when Bitcoin was FOMOing up really hard by retail investors, right? But look at this headline: why Fidelity is mining Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they're mining not just Bitcoin, but also Ethereum. And if you look at this, unfortunately, I didn't subscribe, but you could see that it turns out Fidelity has been at this for 3 years, using its own computers to harvest digital currencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which today trade for 4,300 and 300 respectively. So yeah, they're pretty low numbers, right? But look at that. Fidelity has been doing this for 3 years. 3 years. If you go back 3 years from 2017, that means they've been involved since 2014. So why is that important, right? 3 years ago, so that's 2014, that was when Bitcoin hit a low about $160. That came after the 4-year cycle when Bitcoin hit 1,200 and then came back down, right? So imagine if Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin all this time, and basically Ethereum whenever it came out, they have a ton of Bitcoin already on hand, right? So this is one example why Abigail, she seems like she's a nice lady, but I believe she's a wolf in sheep's clothing. She has to be the CEO of Fidelity Investments, right? So they've been mining and hoarding and hodling Bitcoin and Ethereum and who knows what other crypto for a very long time. But that's not all. So look at this article from July of this year. Fidelity double stake in Bitcoin mining farm HODL. Okay, so not only do they have their own mining farm, they're buying equity stake in other mining farms, right? So this purchase gave them over 10% stake in HODL, a mining farm, right? And that's not all. So I looked at this article back in October of this year. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab have been loading up on crypto mining stock, right? So not only HODL, but there's others like Riot and Hive, and there's others that are also involved with Bitcoin mining. And guess what? Fidelity, and not only Fidelity, other companies, financial companies, are also buying up stock of crypto mining companies, right? So this kind of shows you that Fidelity Investments is very, very in tune with what's going on. Not only are they a monster in mining, but they're also a monster in custody service now. And as you heard her say, they are also involved with getting legacy clients into the digital world, right? That is pretty big. Also, they're dealing with the Lightning Network. I have to find out what she's talking about. That is pretty big, right? And the fact that she led with DeFi, right? That means it's on her mind. That means that they could be looking at making some kind of move to get themselves involved with DeFi, because she recognizes that it is getting big, right? So now you know how involved Fidelity Investments really is. They have been secretly mining Bitcoin and Ethereum for years, and they have been secretly buying equity stake and stocks of mining companies. Also, they have a very, very robust custody service with a pretty good pipeline, according to Abigail Johnson. So they are obviously promoting that. Also, they're very fascinated with DeFi, and they're going to help facilitate the Lightning Network. They seem to be within it all. So at the beginning of the video, I asked if you were in disbelief. Hopefully after hearing about Fidelity Investments, you now understand that institutions are very, very heavily involved with Bitcoin now. Not only are they FOMOing in, but they're offering many services, and some have been mining Bitcoin for years. So what do you think about Fidelity Investments? Are you bullish on their involvement with Bitcoin and crypto, or are you not? Leave your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe to the channel. And check out these other 2 videos if you haven't already.